Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I am Kay Reeds, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about Miss Nicole Falls and my favorite books by her. So stay tuned. So first of all, happy 2025. Meant to say that in the intro, but yeah. So I got into Miss Nicole Falls' work back in 2020 when I read her for me was my first book, which was Shots Not Taken. Loved everything about it. I just kind of got hooked by her from that book. She definitely is an auto buyer for me when it comes to Arthur's, and I also got a chance to meet her 3 years ago when she came down to Charleston for the One Love reunion tour. And this is our picture right here. And then I also got the chance to also interview her, which I'll leave in the cards as well for my Arthur Indie Spotlight. So we're gonna go through her series first that I have on my shelf, and then we're gonna go to her standalones. So for the series, which we're going to talk about her first ever one, her first book, her first three books, which is Adore You, Smitten, and then Came You. So I want to say, like I said, and side note, it's been a minute since I read these, so just excuse me if I really don't remember the whole plot, but I am going to read the synopsis. So yeah, but I will say this is an interconnected series, and the first one, Adore You, is about Miss Deborah Lee, and she kind of had her, she thought she had her love of her life, and then they decided to get a divorce, and then she realizes that the person that she should have married is her ex-husband's brother, Ellis Taylor, who is a notorious playboy at the not anymore, but he was a playboy, and he realizes that Deborah is a person for him. So this was the first one, and then we're gonna go to Selena and Kareem. And this one is basically saying Selena Payne was heartbroken, ghosted by her most recent ex. She was over the whole romance thing and said she was focused on her career, family, and friend. Until Kareem has recently moved back into his hometown to help his mom care for his ailing grandmother. Between family obligations and opening a new business, he was a busy man with little time for socializing. A spontaneous night out led to a chance meeting, spark flying, romance brewing, and Selena and Kareem's undeniable chemistry alter their lives in ways that neither of them could imagine. I think for me, this will have to be my favorite out of the series just because they start meeting from a blind date and it kind of just sparks off that way. Kareem business is that he's a mechanic, he has an auto shop, and there's a very spicy yet cute scene in the auto shop that I just love. So this would definitely have to be my favorite one. And then it goes to the last one, which is Then Came You. And this one is about Damon, who has a pastry shop. He's really focused on that he doesn't really have time for anything else, especially no relationship. And then it comes to Patricia, who is a single mom, recently just got divorced as well. And she is the sister of Selena, and they kind of just was like, you know what, we're going to do a friends with benefits situation. And if you've been in the and if you've ever been in a friends with benefits, then you know feelings hit regardless of the situation, whether you want them or not, and that basically what happens with them. So yeah, so it's for me, it's Smitten, then then Came You, and then Adore You. So those were the first three books that Nicole ever wrote. Then it goes, the next one is a standalone, but at the same time, I feel like it's also a backdoor pilot to another series that she wrote, and that is A Natural Transition. This one tells the story of Naeem Landry, who is a big time DJ at a club. She's very free spirited, doesn't like to follow trends. And then her love interest is Langston Good, who is a big time corporate dude who honestly she can't stand and he can't stand her either. Um, there's a scene in here where they meet where I think Naima's dad tries to like introduce Langston to her because Langston is the guy that he basically will want to his daughter to be with. because not only is Langston working with her dad, he's pretty much her dad's golden boy, but she can't stand him. And after realizing from that constant counter, he can't stand her. And so a scene on the elevator kind of changed both of the perspectives. And there's also another scene that happened where Naima realizes that Langston really isn't the uptight person that she thought he was. So definitely love this book. As you could tell, this is one of my comfort reads. And it goes into transition to the other word I'm going to be talking about, which is my first ever read by her. Because in this book, the characters are introduced, as well as the main character in the upcoming book is best friends with Langston, as well as the main female character in the other book is best friends with Naima. And that book is Shots Not Taken. Like I said before, this was the first book that I ever read by Nicole, and I got hooked on her. This is also the first book in the Nymphs and Trojan series that she co-wrote with Miss Alexandria Warren. So the Trojans is the NBA, the Nymphs are the WNBA, and they go back and forth to where you kind of get to see both worlds in the same timeline. So Nico is a forward for the Tennessee Trojans, and opening up, you get to see him basically be playing for a the conference title, but then he loses. He kind of beats himself up about it because they don't go to the finals. And then he gets introduced by Jade, who's an upcoming country singer. At first, things go well. They have a great conversation. And then she decides to invite him to a bar where she is, doing open mic. Yet he says something to her that pisses her off. But the pissed off was valid. And they basically make it seem that they're never going to see each other again. However, Faith has a funny way of reconnecting people. He's also a singer, and he decides, since he's in the off season, he has really nothing else to do, to enter a singing competition, which Jade becomes his mentor. And from there, their connection once again sparks fires. I ate this book up. Like I said, this book is the first book I read. I didn't have my Kindle yet when I read this book. Um, I just ordered it because, like I said, my best friend recommended it to me. She knows I love sports and loved it, cried, and I was like, yeah, Miss Falls is an auto buyer for me. So this was the first book and also the first book in the Trojan series. Then it goes to the third book because it goes from NBA to WNBA and then back and forth. And the second one is Alexandria Warren, and then it goes to Bounce Back, which I also love. This one takes place in the WNBA. This one is about Mike, and I'm gonna say Micah, but I think it's Makai, but I'm gonna say Micah. I think it's pronounced as Micah Kennedy. She is a WNBA. She's a basketball player who plays overseas, and she gets the opportunity to come back to the States to play for the Tennessee Nymphs. And however, during her transition to the States, COVID happens. So she gets placed into the wubble, as well as she wants to vlog about her life, which I think was awesome because during that time, during the wubble, there were actual WNBA players who were also vlogging about their experience. So I thought this was dope. Like I said, it's kind of hard for her to actually transition because she is a little bit older than her players, her teammates, but she kind of has a great transition. But during that time, she also gets to meet the athletic trainer who is Victor. And he is a single dad. Once again, a book boyfriend that you will freaking love. And he tries to fight his attraction. And she also tries to fight the attraction for each other. But they, as always, come together. And I just, once again, ate this book up. I thought this book was really, really cute. And then we're going to go to her brother, who is my man, my man, my man. Ever since I met him in the first book of Shots Not Taken. And once I found out he was getting his own book, I was like, OMG, had to get it. I have it physically. I have it on my Kindle. Just my man, my man. It when I met her, you know, she also wrote in the book My Man, My Man, My Man. So just FYI. And that is Power Forward. So this has to be one of my favorites out of the series. Just because he's my man. Is Zebediah, period. Zebediah, when you meet in Shawshank Taken, is basically the comic relief of the book. He's freaking hilarious. Um, he's just he's just that person that will basically kind of uplift you whenever you're feeling down, or at the same time, if you need him to be there, he's always going to be there since unfold. And he has a certain crush on a certain agent who is also best friends with his little sister, and that is Miss Kyra Macklin. Kyra is a no playing person. She's, I want to say she's cutthroat, but at the same time, she basically stands on business when it comes to her and her players. And a situation happens during her personal life where she kind of just needs to get away, and Zebediah is the person that she leans on. And even though she tries to fight the attraction for Zeb, she kind of just falls in love with his, his charisma. And however, Zeb was just like, even though he flirts with her heavy, he knows that he wants her, and he basically lets it be known. So I love Power for it. If you love basketball, WNBA, and the NBA, or vice versa, definitely get into the Nims and Trojans. I am doing a separate video for Alexandra Warren, and we're going to talk about my other baby, Kate. But she wrote those books as well. So, yeah. And then another series that she wrote is also sports. Is I don't really know the name for it, but just know it is a different sports with female leads, and I have the first two books. I don't have the third one, but I will be getting that. And the first one up is The Change Up. This one is a baseball romance, and it talks about Jeffrey, who is a female pitcher for a local baseball team, and they get to basically be in a competition. However, she didn't realize that the journalist, no offense, is basically going to be following the team. Now, Noah has been very highly opinionated on how he feels about Jeffrey, as well as how he feel about basically how she is in the baseball area. And it's kind of most, again, to me, I will say more of an annoyance to lovers, because as they travel, they kind of connect that way. So definitely love this book for sure. And then it goes into The Restart, which is a soccer romance, and Blair is a soccer coach, and tragedy happens in the beginning of the book where she feels like she can't do anything. Her mentor passes away, unfortunately, and she kind of just hits a depression area where she doesn't want to do anything. She doesn't want to like anything sports wise. She doesn't want to do anything life wise. She doesn't want to do it until she reconnects with a certain somebody that she met in Vegas, Mr. I'm gonna say his name right, hopefully, Leighton Forbes, and I think I said his name. Not sure, but they reconnect and their situation is just adorable. However, there's a scene in the book where she meets his friends, and there's a certain friend that I could not stand. And I'm just gonna leave it like that. If you haven't read the book, definitely read it. And then the third book is The Recovery, and I'll just leave the cover here. This is a golf romance book. That was the first time I ever read a golf romance, and this is the first time I ever read a soccer romance, and she did it perfectly. I can't remember. I believe her name was Maya, but I could be wrong. And she was a nanny for a pilot who lost his wife, and he has, I believe, two kids, and they kind of fall in love that way. So if you love sports, like I said before, definitely read those. And if you want a series book, definitely read those. So we're gonna go into her solo books. So the first solo book is, excuse me, no, Noel the First. This is definitely very Christmassy. If you want to, if you want a Christmas book, baby, this is a Christmas book. This is the first book in the Holiday Sisters novelette, and it is about Noel, who has a birthday on Christmas, and even though she's been in love with it as a kid, she just thought that it was another day, and so her crush, her high school bestie, comes back home, which his name is Jay. And even though they're best friends, they realize that their attraction for each other kind of turns into something more. I ate this book up because I am a huge fan of best friends to lovers. I just love that trope. Whoever writes it, I love it. And like I said, it's just super cute. It's very Christmassy in the elements of Christmas. And then you get to see her other sisters, and each one of them have a book. I believe the second one is about Thanksgiving. The third one I want to say is about Valentine's Day, and then the fourth one, which I also loved, is about 4th of July. And this one it tells the story of Jupiter Holiday and Quincy Finley. Once again, ate this book up. It's super cute. Like I said, it started from a selfie. It legit started with a selfie. I believe, like I said, it's been missing on Reddit, but I believe he takes a selfie of her or vice versa. And he basically kind of like chases down to find her. And then when they do, sparks fly. Definitely super cute book. Then another good novella book is Sugar, Butter, Flour, Love. And can we just get a applause for the cover? Because this cover is super cute. This tells the story of Isabel Knight, who is co-owner, or I want to say co-owner or owner of their family bakery, Wiz. And then she has an opportunity to get Wiz into a national spotlight. However, she has to basically pair up with a retired football player, Travis Coleman, who basically thinks his agent thinks that it would be a great opportunity to get him back out there after an injury, and also the winning the prize money because they go into a big competition. Half the money would go to her, half the money would go to him. It will also kind of like set up the foundation that he wants to do. So, however, the situation is they can't stand each other because they went to high school together and their high school times did not go well. This one also is another annoying. I won't even say enemies. I will say annoyance to lovers story. She can't stand him because I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, he kind of like bullied her while they were in high school, and it goes from there. So this one was super cute as well. And then, oh, I have one more. Actually, one more book, but another book that I love from Nicole is First Last Kiss. This one, the audio so freaking good. Oh my gosh. This one is Calicia Franklin. She's a hopeless romantic. Unfortunately, her life is full with an amount of busy that precludes her dating and finding Mr. Right. Her best friend's son, nuptials, however, plays an unexpected opportunity for love with arm's reach. Kirk Kangley suddenly thrusts into a new single parent upon the untimely demise of his brother and sister-in-law. Balancing for his 6-year-old niece in addition to running his own business leaves little time for dating. But when his close best friend drops the bomb that he's getting married, Kirk's forced to spare some time to get to know the maid of honor. Neither of them are looking for love, but their close proximity, during the wedding planning possessed draws Clarissa and Kirk close, allowing them to find in the other they didn't know what they were previously missing. This one was super freaking cute. I ate this book up. Calicia's best friend, I do remember reading it. I don't think she was ready for what she signed up for as a marriage, because one minute she would say this, the next minute she would do this, and she would kind of get cold feet, and then once again that. Very tug of war. But Kirk's and Calicia's relationship was just very organic and very natural. And then mixed in with his niece and him being like I said, a new single father, just fireworks. Freaking loved it. So yes, last first kiss was definitely a banger for me. And then the last book. And if you saw my TikTok, then you know you know. Ooh, this is nice. Ha ha. Ha ha. Ha ha. Ha ha. I just love it. This is hunger and this is thirst. And yes, they are brothers. Um this tells this story of, I can't remember his name. Torian and you gotta flip it. Give me a second. I can't remember his name. should have looked this up before. I'm sorry. I legit can't remember his name. I want to say Travis, but I could be wrong. But this is told in the male perspective. Both of books are male and male perspective. Torian is a personal trainer who basically falls in love with his client, and I can't really remember what Thirst was about. I really can't, and it irks me. No, I'm sorry. Tyson is his name. Torian was the main character. I'm so sorry. Like I said, it's been a minute since I read this book. I read it on Kindle, then I just needed the book because I mean, come on, it flips. Like, what are we doing? What? So yeah, so this is like I said, they're a brother book. It's told in the male perspective POV. Ate this up as well. The audio even freaking better. And yeah, so and I did do a oh this is nice when I got the cup when I got the book because I just loved it. So just know if you read it, read it, boom. All these books are on Kindle Unlimited. So if you really want to start there first, definitely do that. And then if you feel like you need it on your shelf, do it. But yeah, so that was my very chaotic book indie recommendation for Miss Nicole Falls. Once again, Nicole, if you're watching this, you are the goat in my eyes. Thank you once again for letting the world read your work. I think you're amazing, and I cannot wait to read new work from you. I will definitely leave all of her information in the description box below. I'm back. I'm super excited to be back. I do have a Arthur Indie Spotlight interview coming up in 2 weeks. Well, actually, next week, actually, with Miss Monica Walters. I'm super excited about that. And I will be back to do another indie recommendation, and that one will be with Miss Alexandria Warren. So until then, read what you love, write what you want to read, have faith, have confidence, love you, be you, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.